this presentation, you'll be provided an overview of the different licenses and licensing processes for helping professionals in the state of Minnesota. If you are planning to pursue licensure in another state, it is likely that the requirements and process will be similar, but not the same. Also, we will not cover licensure reciprocity in this presentation, but I'd like to mention that this is often a viable option for professional helpers who have been licensed in one state but would like to pursue licensure in another without starting all over again. No matter where you hope to practice, please keep in mind that legal and state board definitions and requirements often change, so always refer to the information posted by your state licensing board and educate yourself on the specifics of the license you hope to pursue. Licensing is important from an ethical perspective because it helps protect clients by ensuring that helping professionals have met appropriate training and supervision requirements for professional practice. Being licensed also benefits professional helpers in that it gives them credibility as well as the ability to enter into contractual agreements and request payment from third-party payers like health insurance companies. In other words, being licensed most often allows helping professionals to become in-network or out-of-network providers and get paid. This may benefit clients as well since they can use their health insurance plans to help pay for counseling. Helping professionals who are licensed can also be reimbursed for services using government funding like medical assistance. There are 5 primary licensing tracks for helping professionals in the state of Minnesota. One of those tracks requires a bachelor degree, roughly 3 require a master's degree, and 1 requires a doctorate. So let's start with the license that requires the least amount of schooling and work our way through the other licenses from there. The LADC stands for Licensed Alcohol and Drug Counselor and can be attained with a bachelor's degree where the appropriate coursework related to alcohol and drug counseling has been completed. The scope of practice for helping professionals with the LADC, as defined by Minnesota statutes, is the observation, description, evaluation, interpretation, and modification of human behavior by the application of core functions as it relates to the harmful or pathological use or abuse of alcohol or other drugs. Becoming an LADC in Minnesota requires a bachelor's degree, 18 semester credits or 270 clock hours of specific alcohol and drug counseling coursework, 880-hour alcohol and drug counseling practicum, and a passing score on the individual's choice of 2 different exams defined by the Minnesota Board of Behavioral Health and Therapy. Finally, if the applicant only completes and passes the written exam, the LADC requires 2,000 hours of supervised practice. The professional organizations affiliated with the LADC include, but are not limited to, the NCCAP, or National Certification Commission for Addiction Professionals, which provides written examinations, the NAADAC, or Association for Addiction Professionals, and in Minnesota, MARCH, the Minnesota Association of Resources for Recovery and Chemical Health. The LICSW stands for Licensed Independent Clinical Social Worker and is the highest level of licensure for social workers. This license can only be attained with a master's degree from an accredited social work program. However, the social work profession has a number of licensing tiers, which means that helping professionals in the field of social work are also licensed at the bachelor's level. With a bachelor's degree in social work, a helping professional can become an LSW, or licensed social worker. With a master's degree in social work, a helping professional can obtain and progress from LGSW, or licensed graduate social worker, to LISW, or licensed social worker, and then finally to LICSW, or licensed independent clinical social worker. The LICSW is the only license with which a helping professional in social work can practice independently or without supervision as a clinical mental health professional. Licensure in social work requires the following. For the LSW, a bachelor's degree from an accredited social work program and a passing score on the Association of Social Work Board's ASWB bachelor examination. For the LGSW, a master's degree or doctoral degree in social work obtained from an accredited academic program, and a passing score on the Association of Social Work Boards ASWB master's examination. For the LISW, a master's degree or doctoral degree in social work obtained from an accredited academic program, 4,000 hours of authorized post-MSW social work practice, and a passing score on the Association of Social Work Boards ASWB Advanced Generalist Examination. And for the LICSW, a master's degree or doctoral degree in social work obtained from an accredited academic program, 360 clinical clock hours in 6 clinical knowledge areas, which are obtained through graduate coursework or continuing education hours, 4,000 hours of authorized post-MSW clinical social work practice, and a passing score on the Association of Social Work Boards ASWB clinical examination. The professional organizations affiliated with the field of social work include, but are not limited to, the ASWB, or Association of Social Work Boards, which provides written examinations for social workers, the NASW, or National Association of Social Workers, and the local chapter called NASW-MN. The LPCC stands for Licensed Professional Clinical Counselor and can be attained with a master's degree in counseling or counseling psychology, or from a school accredited by CACREP, the Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs. The scope of practice for helping professionals with the LPCC, as defined by Minnesota statutes, includes, but is not limited to, implementation of professional counseling treatment interventions including evaluation, treatment planning, assessment, and referral, as well as direct counseling services to individuals, groups, and families. On the professional counseling licensing track, individuals can elect to obtain the LPC or licensed professional counselor on their way to obtaining the LPCC, but this is optional. Unlike the social work licensing process, obtaining the LPC is not a required step in obtaining the LPCC. Some individuals elect to obtain the LPC without pursuing the LPCC. The drawback of this approach in Minnesota is that the LPC is not usually able to become an in-network provider with health insurance companies. The requirements for the LPC are a master's degree in counseling or counseling psychology or from a school accredited by CACREP, and a passing score on the NCE National Counselor Examination or NCMHCE National Clinical Mental Health Counseling Examination, and finally, 2,000 hours of supervised postgraduate practice. The requirements for the LPCC are a master's degree in counseling or counseling psychology or from a school accredited by CACREP, a passing score on the NCMHCE or National Clinical Mental Health Counseling Examination, and 4,000 hours of supervised postgraduate practice, of which 1,800 hours must be face-to-face or clinical client contact hours. The professional organizations affiliated with the field of professional counseling include, but are not limited to, the NBCC, or National Board of Certified Counselors, which provides written examinations for professional counselors, the ACA, or American Counseling Association, and the MNCA, or Minnesota Counseling Association. The LMFT stands for Licensed Marriage and Family Therapists and can be obtained at the master's level with a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. The scope of practice for helping professionals with the LMFT, as defined by the Minnesota Board of Marriage and Family Therapy website, is the assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of mental and emotional disorders, whether affective, behavioral, or cognitive, within the context of family systems. When working with individuals, couples, families, or other large systems, the marriage and family therapist conceptualizes and implements treatment from a systemic perspective or framework. The requirements for LMFT are Upon graduating with a master's degree, individuals request from the Board of Marriage and Family Therapy to complete the national examination. Upon completing the national examination with the designation of LAMFT, or Licensed Associate Marriage and Family Therapist, the individual completes 4,000 hours of practice under supervision. Like the LPCC, these 4,000 hours must include specific types of practice. For example, at least 1,000 hours must be face-to-face, and 500 must be with couples or family groups. Upon completion of 4,000 hours of supervised practice, individuals with the LAMFT may apply for state licensure and must complete and pass the Minnesota oral exam. The professional organizations affiliated with the field of marriage and family therapy include, but are not limited to, the AMFTRB, or Association of Marital and Family Therapy Regulatory Boards, which provides examinations for aspiring marriage and family therapists, the AAMFT, or American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, and the MAMFT, or Minnesota Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. Finally, the LP, or Licensed Psychologist, is a license that can only be acquired by individuals with a doctorate in psychology from an accredited program. However, there was a time when the state of Minnesota allowed individuals with a master's degree to obtain the LP, and therefore these individuals were grandfathered into the license when the state legislation was changed around 2005. That's why you may notice that there are a number of helping professionals who still have the MALP designation. Despite this, it is no longer possible to acquire an LP without having a doctoral degree. The professional organizations affiliated with licensed psychologists include, but are not limited to, the ASPPB, or Association of State and Provincial Psychology Boards, which created and maintains the EPPP, or Examination for Professional Practice in Psychology, the APA, or American Psychological Association, and the local Minnesota chapter of the APA, the MPA, or Minnesota Psychological Association. It should also be noted that all of the undergraduate or graduate programs mentioned in this presentation have a practicum requirement in accordance with the standards of most licensing boards. What this means is that if you decide to pursue education in the helping professions in which licensing is involved, you will have to complete supervised experience during your educational experience, in addition to the hours that you must complete post-graduation. This is a lot of information, I know, but I hope this presentation has been helpful in bringing clarity about the different licenses that exist for helping professionals and what is involved in acquiring these licenses. I also believe that just as it is ethically important to provide informed consent for our clients, students who are considering entering into a helping profession should be well informed about the significant time, energy, and resources that are a part of the licensing process after graduating with a degree. It can be a long journey, but one that I believe is worth it in the end.